Hey, it's Clark Reid back with today's tech headlines. Please give us a like if you enjoy the reports. Tap that like button. You can also subscribe by hitting the little bell icon. You'll know when each new report is posted for you. Something I've considered a great emergency feature on Apple's iPhones may be in for some long-term issues. I'm talking about the satellite connectivity. Apple has offered the feature since 2022, but actually the company started talking to Boeing about low-orbit satellites back in 2015. 9to5Mac.com reports that at that time, Cupertino envisioned offering full-blown wireless internet service in addition to emergency services. Apple pulled back due to concerns about damaging relations with the cellular carriers. And then in 2022, Elon Musk came by. They talked to Apple and talked about using SpaceX for satellite connectivity. Musk wanted $5 billion up front and $1 billion a year. And Apple said, nope. Musk gave them 72 hours to make their minds up. And then he said he'd move forward with his own deal, which he has, in partnership with T-Mobile. And Apple is now concerned if it adds the emergency features, Musk will use his influence to get the government involved and get the feds to regulate Apple as a telecommunications carrier. Some are now predicting Apple may abandon the satellite feature and leave it to the carriers to handle, and I think that'd be a shame. The emergency satellite calling has saved lives in areas where there is no and will never be any cellular service. NPR and 3 Colorado public radio stations have sued the Trump White House over President's executive order, which purports to bar the use of congressionally appropriated funds by NPR and PBS. From NPR's filing, quote, "It is not always obvious when the government has acted with a retaliatory purpose in violation of the First Amendment, but this wolf comes as a wolf," states the legal brief for the public broadcasters. The order targets NPR and PBS expressly because, in the president's view, their news and other content is not fair, accurate, or unbiased. The line about the wolf was drawn from a 1988 dissent by late Supreme Court Justice Antonin Scalia. The lawsuit says the administration is usurping congressional rights to direct how federal money will be spent and to pass laws. NPR reports that the executive order is a clear violation of the Constitution and the First Amendment's protections for freedom of speech and association and freedom of press. That coming from a statement by NPR President and CEO Catherine Marr. The administration has been pursuing Harvard University, too, over its diversity programs and other things, in another instance where the Trump administration seems intent on throttling an institution and its faculty and students as they try to exercise their First Amendment rights. Usually by mid to late summer, Samsung releases its latest folding phones, and now comes word that the Galaxy Z Flip 7 may be sold worldwide with a Snapdragon 8 Elite chip. Now, that's worldwide except for South Korea, where it will continue to have the Exynos 2500. AndroidPolice.com says the folder will reportedly get a bigger 4,300 milliamp hour battery. As we reported earlier, it'll also have a bigger cover display along the lines of the latest Motorola folder. Now, the big brother Galaxy Z Fold 7 will be notably thinner, and we expect a price bump on that one at least because of the Trump tariffs. In a big move for gamers, Valve has rolled out its SteamOS version 3.7 to the public. ArsTechnica.com notes that it's no ordinary update. This one will run on PC hardware in addition to Valve's Steam Deck, and it will run on a number of other AMD-powered handhelds, and even AMD desktops and laptops in some cases. Some of the mobile systems it'll run on include the Asus ROG Ally, and the Lenovo Legion Go, the Legion Go S. Right now, however, the Legion Go S is the only one that'll have fully baked in SteamOS support. At present, SteamOS is really not a drop-in replacement for Windows, and that won't happen without strong support from Intel or NVIDIA hardware. But that may be coming. With a lot of people and companies reluctant to upgrade to Windows 11, a fair number of gamers and do-it-yourselfers may just migrate to SteamOS, especially if the rumored support for Intel and NVIDIA happens. I'm Clark Reid, and you're Technified for now.